Dear students, welcome to this interview preparation session, and in this session I will explain how you should explain your earlier project so that you come off as a confident business analyst, so that the person who is interviewing you perceives you as a valuable team member. So we will take up point by point what can be the expectations of your interviewer when he is discussing your past experience, especially with respect to the IT projects which you would have completed. And I shall suggest prepare thoughtfully for a detailed explanation of your project to succeed in the next interview. Your interview success rate will increase by as much as 50 percentage points if you go through these concepts which I have mentioned here. So you have to prepare in a thoughtful manner, and you have to be ready with the backstory of every point which you would have mentioned in your resume. So to succeed, I'll tell you, you need to have a good resume. I have already shared with you the resume template. So that resume template is a highly effective template. Prepare your CV according to that template. Step 2 is perform well in the interview. Now, when I say to succeed, it is basically long-term success for your career. And then once you are on the job, you need to display sincerity, you need to display patience, and you need to display excellent character, and you should come up with excellent outputs when you are on the job. A good resume will get shortlisted. Once you get shortlisted, once you appear in an interview, your experience will be showcased in your CV. Now you need to explain this CV. Let us see how you need to do that and how you should approach that. Today, when companies hire business analysts, when companies hire product managers, when companies hire product owners and Scrum masters, one of the new skills which has come up in the job description is storytelling. So you should have the ability to weave your message in form of a simple story, but then you should be able to communicate the clear points. That means, say for example, to the development team, not only you should be able to communicate the requirement in form of user stories, but you should also be able to communicate the business rationale why this new functionality has to be introduced. So while you appear in an interview, again here you need to be a storyteller. But this story is about your past experience, about the criticality of the projects which you handled, about your success and about your failures. So here you need to be very clear in terms of the client information. So who the client for this project was, why the client has initiated this project, what is the scale of business of this client, so where it is located, and other details. The employer information. So you may have an employer who would have got this project, or maybe you are working on this project through a third party payroll. Whatever that arrangement is, you need to be clear. The information about the project, start date, end date, technologies used, etc. Your role and your contribution in the project. So client information, employer information, project information, and contribution. You need to be clear on all these 4 points. Client information. Who is the client for which this project was delivered? Many a times IT companies, especially the large IT companies, they roll out many internal projects also just to come up with a competency. If that be the case, just explain. If there is an external client, keeping in mind the confidentiality agreement, you can mention the name of the client. Many projects are just available in the public space or public domain. So if the project information is available in public domain, then you can't get away by saying that, look, this was a confidential project, etc. If the project information is available in public domain, you can be confident to share that with your prospective website of the client, where the client headquarters are, what was your project location, what is the brief overview of clients, and if client is a diversified business conglomerate, you should be aware of the client group and also the specific division in which you were implementing this project. Brief overview of client's industry. Let's say if you are delivering for your client a project for banking industry, or the client is in banking industry, say in United States of America, so then you need to be aware of, let's say, what US Fed is, or say what the specific regulations in that industry, in that geography are. Business relation of client with your employer. So all this you need to be aware, because You may not be telling all this information in a given interview, but if you are ready with all this information, wherever required, basis your own intelligence, you will share that information. But you need to prepare all this while you prepare for your next interview. Employer information. Now, it is highly likely that you have been employed by an employer, a company like HCL or TCS, which has secured this project, which is delivering this project for the client. So you need to be clear about who your employer was, what is your client's business, what is the client's specialty, website of your client, total employee strength of your company, total turnover of your company, what has been your duration of employment with this employer, start date and end date. All this information may look obvious and simple, but while you are to appear in an interview, you need to be clear. You can't say that, look, it might be January 2015 or it can be April 2015. I'm a bit confused. You can't say like that. You have to be crystal clear because you are appearing for a position wherein ability to communicate is so important. The positions which you have held with this employer, if you have been promoted while you have been working with this company, some special award, some special recognition which you would have received while you were working with this employer. So the client information, the employer information. Now comes the project information. The project which you worked upon is also having quite many details, and herein you need to clearly justify the project rationale, why this project has been initiated. What was the business case? What were the business benefits and business objectives which the client had in its mind when they rolled out a project? What was the capital expenditure for this project? What was the proposed return on investment, cost savings, etc.? And how this project came to your company? That is project award process. I remember of a project wherein I was working for an employer. So some senior management functionaries of my company went and attended the advanced management program at Harvard University. Out there, they met their counterparts. These were senior functionaries working in banking industry. So my senior management people met with senior bankers and who represented a company. Good conversation, good information exchange, and friendships would have evolved. Out of that communication, a very important project came to my employer. Of course, some formalities would have, but this can be this informal also. And many a time there are standard requests for proposals, requests, submission to proposals, awards and bids, etc. Then what are the project details? What is the title of the project? What was the location of the project? So when I say location, the physical location where you see the client was located, duration of the project. If this project was delivered in multiple phases, who were the stakeholders for this project? Who were the suppliers, maybe manpower suppliers, technology suppliers, other parties who were involved? Then the technical environment for the project, development environment, project system environment, project deployment architecture, and other tools. If you work for a product company and if you appear for a analyst position or a consultant position, for sure they will ask about the product architecture or the product technology stack. So you need to be aware of all this. Then you need to focus on the requirements because this is what you would have done earlier. Project vision and mission, business requirements of the project, how these business requirements translate into functional, non-functional requirements. Then form factors of delivery. So what are these form factors of delivery? So say whether you prepared an app, whether your app was available on Android or on iOS or on both, or whether it was only a browser-based system we could access on a laptop or a PC, or it was a system which could be accessed via devices of multiple sizes. All this you need to be clear. Challenges, if there were any unique challenges which you face, obstacles, stakeholder related challenges, cost and time overrun, project success, and unique preposition for this project. So you need to be very clear about the project information because it is this project information which will be discussed in detail in your interview. Sometimes some people are not able to explain, say, very simple things like what was the relational database management system or the database which was used for the project. Those who have a good observation or those who have done it all, They may wonder how one can overlook this information, but this happens. Then after project information, you need to be clear about your contribution on this project. So what was your title and your role? Sometimes you see the title and role are in perfect synchronization. You have been hired as a business analyst, and your job on this project is to conduct and complete the requirements process. You are writing user stories, you are managing product backlog, you are doing elicitation interviews, you are preparing requirement models. That is fine. But many a times what happens, a title may be a bit generic, maybe something like a senior associate, and your role that can be of a business analyst. Or you are a quality assurance professional, SQA, and you have been given dual responsibilities of doing QA/QC and also doing business analysis. So you need to be clear about what was the title given to you and what was your role. So you should be able to justify that if there is a case wherein there is some difference between your title and the role which you have performed. Additional roles and responsibilities discharged. So you might have some core activity to take up and then some additional activities. What was your location? Were you working out of your home? Were you working out of the client location? Or which city were you working out of? Whether it was the employer's office or the client's office or your own home. Duration of the project. What are the outputs which you have produced? Say, have you prepared BPM models? Have you prepared flowcharts? Have you written user stories? Have you prepared a business requirement document? So you need to be clear what are the outputs which you have produced on this project. Tools which you have used. So typical tools are Visio, Balsamic, a modeling tool like Vijay, a requirements documentation tool like Word. So all the tools which you have used. Business analysis techniques like Moscow, MOST, Toyota A3 framework, and SWOT, and so many other techniques. What are the methods or frameworks which you have used like UML, BPM? And you need to be clear about your activity, your outputs, so that you are able to clearly explain the importance of the project and your important role on this project. If you have received any award, any recognition, any accolades for this project, any special mention which you would have received, even if it is in form of an email, you should be ready with the printout of that email in your file. If this project has received some good press, you need to be aware. So your contribution. So these are the areas wherein you should be able to explain your project and your own contribution. Now, with this information in background, I would like to have a small discussion with all of you, especially those who have started to prepare for the business analyst position. Please share your experience with me and please let me know if this information is helpful to you. So I open the class for a small discussion. Let me talk to each of you individually. Allow me to do that.
Yes, sir.
Have you prepared your CV? I have already shared with you the template.
No, sir, I have not prepared the CV yet. So I'm just like going through like preparing for the interview in the form of like going through all the videos and reading the documents and consolidating all my old projects descriptions, how I need to convert from a development project to a for a VA. Yeah, so where I'm facing the one of the problem is, so when I was a developer, so that time, so we are just getting the requirement and we are just giving the final product, but how this the same was useful for for the users, for the stakeholders, so those informations where I'm missing little bit. Okay, so those who I'm trying to consider like talking to my old team members and trying to get it. So this is what I have been doing for last 2-3 weeks.
Okay. So I will suggest one thing to you, that you
Yeah.
go through the template. I have a very good template for senior professionals for business
Okay.
analysis. You go through the template, you carefully see the template over a duration of 6 to 8 years. In that resume template, the person has performed almost all the business analyst outputs and activities and duties. So since you
Okay.
have a larger experience, you should
Yeah.
also be exposed to all the BA related areas over the years. So you prepare for that. So just go through that CV, it will help you.
Okay. Okay. Sure. And so how I'm planning to prepare the resume? So I am having around 14 years of experience. So out of this, so first like 8 years, right? So is it fine, or I need to do some modification on it?
I have told you the difference between the title and the role.
Yeah.
If you have played that role and if you are ready to play that role in future, that is fine. 8 plus 6 is fine.
Okay.
Is this slide useful to you?
Yeah. This slide is very much useful. So
Please
because
snip this picture.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hi Vijay. Yeah.
Hello,
So
tell me, where are you?
Vijay, I have that same problem which is facing. I have around 8.5 years of experience purely into development. So many a
Yeah.
times what happened, we don't know the business aspect of the changes or the things which we are doing. So I am currently, because I have around 5 years of experience in insurance domain,
Okay,
traditional
good,
life insurance and annuity products. So
good.
currently what I am doing is I am gathering those business documents or business aspect of this, and I am trying to mold my profile from pure technical to some kind of a techno functional role, so that I can provide a smooth transition, like 3 years of uh, this technical experience, and now I am taking up techno functional roles.
I suggest you email your CV to me.
Sure.
I will provide you some advice.
Because now I was thinking that since my role is currently also senior software engineer or tech lead, so how can I justify in the interview that being a tech, since you are a senior software engineer, but you are saying that you are working as a BA, so how can I justify that part also?
You
Because
just,
I have to.
I suggest that two things, which
Mhm.
I shall suggest. One thing is you just snip this slide.
Okay.
For for every project in which you would have been present,
Right.
take this as a template, do this as an exercise, try to fill up the maximum information which comes
Sure.
here.
Okay.
And I think at the level of maturity at which you are, you will be able to do, provided you basically do some mental exercise and provided you give some time to this activity.
Right.
But moment you will do this activity, you are
Mhm.
more than half done.
Sure. I'll try to
See
do
here,
that. I was.
everything is mentioned. No
Mhm.
one will ask any question beyond what has been mentioned here.
Okay. I'll try to fill up as many
And
as.
then again, even to you, I will tell, go through that sample CV
Sure.
that is available in the CV directory. In that sample CV, every
Mhm.
information which is expected out of a BA is provided, shared over a course of 4 to 6 years. So what you do, what you
Mhm.
have been doing earlier, that is fine. As a
Mhm.
technical guy, just add those many activities also to your CV.
Okay. Okay. So.
And don't try to balance technical knowledge with functional knowledge. If you are looking on a functional role, make your
Mhm.
CV in a manner that it looks more functional than anything else.
Okay. Okay. So
Okay?
I should mention something like while in
Yes,
the
yes. So
interview.
you should share your CV with me and then I'll have a discussion, one-on-one discussion with you during the week.
Sure. Sure.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Sir, yeah, unlike others, my role is entirely different, sir. Actually, I am from a retail banking background. Presently working in a MNC bank, DBS bank. I have joined this course to have a full transition to IT business analyst. Even though I am working in a non-technical, like basic banking background, I have gone through all the sessions made by you, sir. Even though I have missed a few classes due to my due to working day, I have followed the transcripts and I am following up your video lessons now also. Now, actually, my doubt is presently I am having a 6 plus years of basic banking experience. Sir. I have few. I am in different roles in throughout my career. It is around. I have changed up to 3 roles in my 6 plus years of banking career. Now, I want to get clarity how my experience could be made in my CV for converting it to a business analyst. I mean,
You see,
from
I have a question. Have I
yeah,
added you to the bankers group?
no
Are you
sir, no
present
sir,
there? Just a minute,
no
allow
sir.
me to. Just a minute, I'll do that. I have added you to the bankers group.
Yeah,
Now what you do,
Yes.
whatever you have mentioned to me here,
Yes, sir.
with little patience,
Yeah.
you just write everything in the bankers group. Then I will basically attach you to one or two successful bankers who are successful consultants today in IT industry.
Sure, sir. Sure.
So,
Yeah, that is the thing. I mean, I presently I am in non-technical. I have to mold my career to technical, pure entire technical
no.
IT.
What is your qualification? Everyone out here in this world is a technical guy. Now, after you see attending these many sessions, you should not say that you are a non-technical person.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All this is so technical. What is your
Okay.
academic qualification?
BTech, sir. BTech, sir. Mathematical calculation.
You see, he who is a BTech is a specialist in everything
Yeah.
except the branch of engineering in which he has qualified.
Okay,
So
sir.
I know almost everything under the sun except mechanical engineering.
Sir. Mm, I'm in a banking process. I mean, I domain knowledge of banking I'm having, sir. But this, I mean, I think this will helpful for a business analyst in a banking domain to have his application in a banking domain. A little bit of tools and techniques to be well gripped is the thing. Another thing I wanted to have in coming days.
So I'll suggest one thing. I've added you to the group, bankers group.
Yes, sir.
And what you do, you just introduce yourself there.
Sir.
And just today, in a day or two, you mention your full story. Today, you just
Sure.
mention your background and just write write a bit politely. I'm happy to be here.
Yes.
And I look forward to some advice or
Yes.
guidance.
Sure, sir.
I will. All the individuals out there are successful business analysts. They have been
Yeah.
bankers earlier, and each of
Yeah.
them which are there in the group are my students. So I'll connect you to two of them, and then if you have a good communication, they will guide you how to apply. Because you see the background which you have. For your background, there are lot many positions which are available. Have you ever appeared in a business analyst interview?
No, sir, not yet, sir. That is the thing.
Because you have not applied, or because your CV has not got shortlisted?
Not, I mean, not applied actually.
Okay. Now you should start to apply. Only you
Sure.
see, I'll tell you. Only when you will apply, you will get to know whether you have a good CV which is getting shortlisted or not. If your CV is
Okay.
not getting shortlisted, then you see we need to make changes in the CV so that
Okay.
it is in alignment with the requirement. If your CV
Yeah.
gets shortlisted, then either you will get selected, or if you are not getting selected even after appearing in say 3 or 4 interviews, then we need to understand where is the gap in the knowledge that you need to bridge up.
Yeah.
So this is the process which everyone has to follow.
Yes.
Up to this point, when you would have attended several sessions, are you happy with whatever you have learned? Are you confident that this can be applied, your banking domain knowledge and the knowledge which you have received here, together they make a winning combination? Do you have that confidence?
Yes, sir, I'm having, sir.
If that
Yes, sir.
confidence is not with you, I suggest that you interact with few business analysts.
Okay.
Then as you will interact with them, you will get this confidence that you also have good enough a skill and good enough a knowledge.
Okay, sir.
So dear students, if there is any other item or any other question which you would ask me to address, I will do that. Today I am not going to take up anything to be taught. Next week I will teach you requirement solicitation and the interview process, wherein we will have a role play and business analysis techniques. So, but today we can utilize this time to have a one-to-one discussion. Please let me know if there are any questions.
No questions from my.
Even no question from my end. I'm happy.
Okay, so dear students, allow me to stop this class today and here. Next week, we will start at 2:15 p.m. and we will have a full class wherein we will have requirement solicitation. During the week, I'll share with you a role play. So please read that exercise upfront, and we will also cover business analyst techniques. Week after that, we will have a session on wireframes and mockups, wherein I will provide you a full project for wireframes and mockups. Let me check if I have covered that wireframes in your group. Just a minute. Yeah, so I haven't taught wireframes and mockups. So next week, requirements elicitation and analysis along with role play plus business analysis techniques. Next to next week, wireframes and mockups with the full project. And then week after the next, requirements documentation, SRS and BRD preparation. And by that time, we would have completed, you see, almost everything for the program. Whatever else will be left, that I will take up. Now in this month, I am available individually to each of you for your interview preparation and for your CV preparation. So please connect to me on a one-on-one basis for anything, any guidance which you may require for CV interview opportunities and all. As is the market at this moment, opportunities are more than many for domain experts like Srinath, domain experts like Saurabh, Srinath in banking, Saurabh in insurance, and even Anil, who is in finance. You see, your domain expertise, your prior track record, and these skills are more than enough to get something like a 50% hike and multiple jobs. Be ready with this. So now I will be assisting each of you individually in your resume preparation and in your interview preparation. Please connect with me without any hesitation. I will work with each of you on an individual basis.